Hello everyone, I am Alex Avila. I'm a licensed professional counselor who helps individuals and couples thrive in their most important relationship. In our relationships, we long to feel understood, valued, and cared for. And although two partners come to the relationship with these same feelings and needs, we can really get stuck in negative patterns that leave us feeling frustrated, confused, and disconnected in the one relationship that is most important to us. Well, maybe like me, you didn't get relationship training growing up. I did not see this on my list of electives in high school, so we could all benefit from new ideas about how to figure out this thing called love. In this video, I'm going to share about something I've recognized in my trainings and experience as a couples therapist as one of the most foundational elements of a strong, intimate, and satisfying relationship. You will hear my definition of emotional safety. I'll talk about the blocks that keep us from sharing information, why we don't share the hard stuff, and how to build a sense of safety in your most important relationship. So what is emotional safety? We know what physical safety is. We've been educated our entire lives how to prevent dangerous accidents. We wear seatbelts, helmets, and other safety gear in our attempts to prevent or reduce the physical, mental, and emotional trauma caused by accidents. Thankfully, you probably already have a really good idea of what it means to be safe with people when it comes to expressing your thoughts and feelings, especially your deeper, more vulnerable feelings. A lot of this comes naturally. The human brain is quite amazing and complex, but thankfully it's simple in the fact that it does not distinguish between physical and emotional fear. One of the many purposes of our brains is to keep us safe and alive. When we feel afraid, our brain sends signals to the rest of our body. Our heart starts beating faster, we may have a sick feeling in our stomach, and we may feel like running away. But fear and anxiety are there to help us. They warn us about threats of danger and how to respond. And this brain-body interaction launches us into immediate action. When we feel scared, blood flows to our feet. So it makes sense that we want to run, not just from physical fear, as if we're jumping out of the way of a passing car, or running for our lives if being chased by a wild animal. So when our conversation starts to heat up with our romantic partner and we feel tense, and everything in us tells us to flee and leave the room or drive away from the house, although we may feel and appear angry, we are really afraid emotionally. Emotional safety is hard to pin down though. It's not tangible. It's our thoughts and our feelings in response to our sense of emotional safety or lack of safety. I like to think of emotional safety as approachability. If I'm an emotionally safe person, people can come to me and share on a deeper level and have a relatively relaxed feeling that I will not judge or reject them or make fun of what they're saying. So here's my definition of emotional safety. Believing and feeling that my partner is approachable. I am easily able to overcome and push past my calculated emotional risk and share deeper thoughts, feelings, and needs without hesitation, because any fear of rejection, criticism, and ridicule, and feeling of being minimized, unheard, unimportant, unseen, abandoned, and neglected because of sharing are mostly absent or non-existent. Overall, I can be me, I can feel free, and after I share, I will know that I'm okay, that my partner will be there for me, and I will feel cared for. I know that's a packed definition, but after hearing that definition and you and your partner are doing pretty well, then celebrate. Keep doing what works for you and talk about how you both contribute to this powerful way of relating. Many of us, however, may not be able to say this. If you feel like you're missing the mark, you're probably like most of us. We're not looking for perfection here, and you may be hearing some of these details for the very first time. But I know that if you're willing to learn, you can help create a greater sense of mutual safety that can help you enjoy a deeper connection. Sometimes knowing what not to do is helpful in realizing what we should be doing instead. So how do we know if someone is not being a safe person? Most likely we've come across many people who are not emotionally safe, and we know we can't and don't share with these people, or we haven't been able to keep them in our lives. Have you ever had to ask yourself, should I say this? Or thought, this is not going to go well. Or it's not worth sharing because I know how this person will react and it will end up hurting me. If the answers to these questions have stopped you from sharing with someone, you probably did not feel emotionally safe with that person. Sometimes these feelings or topics that prompt you to hit the pause button are situational. You can share some things easily and more readily, whereas other concerns you need to keep inside. But you know if you've had someone who was unapproachable in general, maybe because you consistently got the same reaction from that person. They didn't want to hear what you had to say, and you walked away feeling sad or angry, like your opinion doesn't matter. Even as young children, we learn quickly that we won't go back to these people, at least with sensitive and vulnerable information. Whenever something in us tells us to withhold and hit the pause button, we must slow down to consider that voice. And we need to give ourselves permission to hit the pause button. And as soon as we can, we should search for the answers to these questions. What am I afraid of happening if I say this? Do I fear being rejected, minimized, dismissed, and ignored? Am I worried about putting myself out there and not getting a sufficient positive response? If you can't share or process these feelings with the person you're talking to, you might try sharing with another person you feel comfortable with. Sometimes a caring friend who can just listen and reflect what you're feeling can be the best person to help you discover and validate your communication blocks and assess whether you're ready or if it's a good idea to share on that deeper level. Of course, there are a lot of powerful words in that definition I gave you of emotional safety that on one side have the potential to create a real sense of relational trauma, but on the other side can also create a strong sense of safety that helps shape a deeper intimacy. There's a huge risk in becoming vulnerable with our deeper feelings and needs. We want our partner or spouse to be there and be approachable and love us regardless of the areas in which we feel we are lacking. When people know our stuff, the not so pretty but real parts of us, and they still love us, this is love. This is safety and connection. And this idea of sharing more deeply can work in all of our relationships, with our friends, family, parents, children, coworkers, managers, neighbors, anyone you want to enjoy a quality connection with. So in your relationship, your committed romantic relationship or marriage, my hope is that you can build an atmosphere of safety that allows both of you to share more frequently and on a deeper level. And I'm excited to help you get there. Building a safe zone in your home and relationship is certainly a process and is something we have to work at regularly. There will be moments where we lose our sense of connection and get off track. We may appear unapproachable at times, and at times we may not want to share anything with our partner. We're only human. But what is important is that we talk about emotional safety, when we feel it, when we need more of it, and how to get back to it after we've lost it. To personalize this, you might start with completing these sentences individually and then discussing them together when you feel ready. I feel valued by you when it's easy for me to share blank when you blank. I feel most connected and cared for when you blank. It's important to remember that we don't make ourselves vulnerable with people when they have been psychologically harmful or manipulative or verbally or physically abusive towards us. When there is a history of abuse and patterns of neglect, minimizing, gaslighting, and you regularly feel dismissed, you do not want to make yourself more emotionally vulnerable. We need some degree of emotional safety in place before risking going deeper, and when someone habitually harms us, safety is clearly not present. It doesn't mean our partner has to be perfect here, but we should only share to the degree we feel safe and ready. When we take a small step and it goes well, we might consider taking another step, and then another. There is no doubt these conversations can be difficult. Every time we make our deeper feelings and needs known, regardless of how responsive our partner has been in the past, we are risking that our feelings will not be heard and our needs will not be met. So here are 3 quick tips. We must always assess our readiness and sense of safety. We must anticipate our partner's reaction and then make adjustments to how we might deliver this message. And we must find the appropriate time to engage in these meaningful discussions. This 3rd step is just as important as the first 2. Knowing in advance that you'll be having a deeper discussion, even with just 30 minutes notice, can help you both mentally prepare, lower your defenses, and approach each other with a kind and open demeanor. Listening to each other with a compassionate curiosity rather than trying to fix it or be right is key here. I know you can do it, and I believe you will feel better as an individual, knowing you're practicing a healthy relational approach. But more than that, it is my hope that your relationship improves significantly by taking even a small step in this direction. When we have these deeper, more meaningful conversations, we can get back to the fun, the more relaxing and joyful parts of life. If you would like to see more videos about how to better understand yourself and your partner to improve your sense of intimacy in your relationship, you'll want to subscribe to this channel. Click the subscribe button below and ring that little notification bell on the right side, and you will be the first to know when my next video comes out so you can feel more confident and connected in your relationship. Take care of yourself and each other and enjoy this day.